Yeah, so hi everyone. My name is Daniel. I'm the founder from Zeotap. So I'm going to speak today about how we make use out of the beauty of operators' data to help businesses improve their decisions and to help consumers, gain a better experience when working with businesses. And as I was asked to speak a bit about change, I will also focus some part on the product, which we changed to better meet operators' demand. So please think about, when have you last seen a relevant billboard out there? I have never seen really a relevant billboard. When have you last experienced the train being late? So usually that really, you stand there and wait for the train and the train comes late. And why is it that ads on mobile are so impersonal, whereas the smartphones, which we all use every day, have almost become more relevant, more personal than our wallet? So why is that the case? We think that's due to a lack of data. Not a lack of data existing, the data is really there. It's a lack of using the right data from the right players to solve these problems. And we believe that when you use the right data, you can really solve these problems, improve the experience of consumers when trains come earlier, that's good for all of us, and improve the decisions of businesses. So what we do is we work with operators because we believe that operators have this kind of data. And our vision is to be the central platform standing in the middle between operators and a lot of businesses. These businesses could be mobile advertising businesses, it could be train companies, it could be retailers where we help to optimize the retail footprint based on data. And the vision is to help operators kind of make use of their data in an anonymous but highly scalable way. And as you may know, operators are kind of regulated differently than the guys like Facebook, Google, and Twitter. So you cannot just use their data, even if it's anonymous. You need to first ask the user. You need to involve the user. So you need to get his explicit consent, his explicit opt-in. And this is what we're doing. We're kind of reaching out to the users and asking them to give their explicit opt-in, their consent, to leverage their data for use cases which make sense. Because at the end of the day, it will also help them to have a better life. We're live with that product with some operators in Europe. What we also do is focus for the moment on mobile advertising, because this is where we're coming from. This is where we are strong, where we have our DNA. And this is the market where, as you may have heard before, really data on mobile apps is lacking. 80% of impressions on mobile is coming from in-app, 20% from mobile web. And in this 80% chunk, really data is really a problem. There's no solid data. So this is why we've come up with a service which takes the data from operators in an anonymous way and feeds this data in real time into the advertising ecosystem to help advertisers reach the right users. Let's give an example. Imagine you're an advertiser and you want to bid on an impression because you want to show your brand, but you have no idea what that impression is. You don't know the age of this impression. You don't know if it's a male or a female. You don't know about the income. You don't know about the interests. So what happens, you may just show your pregnancy app. This is exactly what happened to me. I was traveling from where I live, outside Berlin, to work. I opened one of my apps to look up an English word, a dictionary app, and I saw a banner at the bottom of this app showing me or asking me to download a pregnancy app from a German insurer. And I would say this is kind of irrelevant for a male in my age. So the reason to that is that the advertiser or the middleman who kind of displays the ad on mobile just does not have the information. By the way, it was Google who showed that ad. It was DoubleClick. So the user experience, obviously, when data is not there, is bad. It's really missing an opportunity to make the user happy, to make the advertiser get his right target audience, and to make the middleman earn more money because they distribute the right ads. Now imagine this advertiser would have the information that this guy where the impression is coming from is a male. He may not show a pregnancy ad, he may show a car. It's a bit better. Now imagine that this guy would know, that the advertiser would know, the impression is coming from a male living in Geneva and having a high income. He may show a cooler car, like a better car. And now imagine that this advertiser would know that this guy is aged between 35 and 45. He may show a more sporty car. At the end of the day, the likelihood that this user will like the ad increases, which is good for everyone at the end. So when we pitch this to operators, when we speak with operators, and we do that a lot, they're really into that. For example, Verizon in the US is already live with that model. However, they're a bit scared of leaking their data. They don't want to give out their data in raw form. So I will now focus on speaking about change, how we developed our product in a way which still drives this data to the ecosystem, but kind of solving the operator's fear of their data being leaked directly to the ecosystem. And so what we generally do is that, let's assume the advertiser has a certain target campaign. He wants to target like males in this age range we saw before, between 35 and 45. But he doesn't know anything about the user, and we don't tell him directly. What we see, because we're integrated with the operators, is that this incoming impression, this incoming ad request or bid request, it doesn't matter, it's no difference, it's a male in this age range. So what we do is we score that impression in real time within 5 to 20 milliseconds, and then we can deliver that score to the advertiser and tell the advertiser, hey, this impression, and he sees like millions of impressions every day, this impression by 0.8, or you could say 80%, matches your target group. So if you're on RTB, it makes sense to bid on this user, and if you already know that you should bid on him, you can bid more because you will reach your right target group. So in this model, we don't directly give data, we don't give out the raw data. This is a male, he lives there, and he's in this age to improve targeting, but we still answer the question of the advertiser, and this also works with performance, by the way. So in this model, everybody wins. The operator gains on top business, and this is pure EBITDA business because we do everything. We do the technical implementation, and we do the reach out to the partners to connect the data to them. And he goes into a business where the data is fully anonymized and where it's not leaked. So the operator remains his value proposition. The data does not become commodity. The advertiser increases his return on advertisement because he spends money on reaching the right users. So he has also like the capability to spend more on the right users. And spending more on the right users will also mean that the middleman, in the end, will have a high revenue, all these, InMobis and so on, which stand between the advertiser and the publisher, because they get a share of the CPM. And if the CPM increases, their revenue cut increases. And at the end of the day, also the user benefits because the ads he sees anyway get better. So we don't send out any on-top ads. It's about making existing ads on mobile, and this is a huge market, as you all know, more relevant. So just quickly about the team, as Zeotap will probably be quite new for you. So we're a team of former telco guys. I'm coming from Vodafone. Before that, I co-founded my first startup. We have one guy coming from IBM. The CTO will be in the Valley. And yeah, we're working with operators to help businesses improve their decisions. Thank you.